All right, so we're going to try to solve this by using the junction rule for the current at points V1, V2, and V3. So at point V1, we have potential difference between 10 volts and V1. So it's going to be V1 minus 10 volts. And the potential difference will create current through 30 ohm resistor. Plus the current coming from 40 ohm resistor, which is going to have potential difference will be V1 minus V2. Okay, so that's going to give us the current through 40 ohm resistor. Plus potential difference coming from 60 ohm resistor. Is that? No, 50 ohm resistor. 50, yes. V1 going 50. So this will be V1 minus V3 over 50. So every time we calculate the potential difference between V1 and something else. So all this current should add up to 0. Now V2. So we have current coming through 20 ohm resistor, which will be V2 minus 10 over 20 ohms, plus the current coming through 40 ohm resistor, which will be V2 minus V1 over 40 ohm resistor. And then the current coming through 60 ohms, which will be again V2 minus V3 over 60. That's going to be 0. All the currents add up to 0. And then for the point V3, we're going to have, well, V3 minus 0, because 0 is at the ground, over, that's 10 ohms. It's going to be current through that 10 ohm resistor. We have V3 minus V1 over 50, which is going to give us current through 50 ohm resistor, plus V3 minus V2, and that's the current going through 60 ohm resistor, should all add up to 0. Okay, so we have these three equations. And what we need to do, we need to multiply each one by the least common multiple. So let's say, what is it? 50, 40, and 30. So 600 should be divisible by all of them evenly. So the number here will be 600. And the 60, 20, 40, and 60. What number can we divide by that? Well, again, I guess 600. And then we need to multiply the third equation probably by the same number. 600 again. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna multiply each one, and we're gonna need to group them together. All right, so the first one will end up being 20 V1 minus 100 plus 15 V1 minus V2 plus 12 V1 minus V3 equals 0. The second equation will end up being 30 V2 minus 100 plus 15 V2 minus V1 plus 10 V2 minus V3 equals 0. The third equation ends up being 60 times V3 3 minus 0 plus 12v3 minus v1, and then plus 10 v3 minus v2. All right, so let's open the parenthesis. Let's see what happens. So this is our system, which is coming from here. So 20 distributing 20v1 minus 200 plus 15v1 minus 15v2 plus 12v1 minus 12v3 equals 0. So like terms here, 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 this is v2 and this is v3, and then the number will go to the other side. So this will become then, let's copy it down here. It will be 20v, what, 20, 20, 20. So 20 minus 20 plus 12. 20 plus 15 plus 12. What is it? 47. 47 v1 minus 15 v2. And then minus 12 v3 equals 200. That's our first equation. Okay, let's move it slightly down so we don't have to. Okay, now the second equation becomes 30v2 minus 300 plus 15v1, sorry, v2 minus 15v1 plus 10v2 minus 10v3 equals 0. Like terms. So we have v1 right here. We have a v2, we have this one, and this one. This is v3. So that becomes a negative 15. 15, is it 15? Negative 15. Okay, let's try it. Negative 15 v1. Then v2. 30 plus 10 minus 15 will be 25 v2. And then v3, we only have 10. v3 equals, the number 300 goes to the other side, becomes positive 300. Okay. And the last equation is going to become 60 v3, which 0 goes away, plus 12 v3 minus 12 v1 plus 10 v3 plus 10 v2 equals 0. So v1 we have 1 here. v2 we have 1 here. And a v3 we have 1, 2. So v1 negative 12 v1 negative 10 v2. 60 plus 12 and plus 10. What is it? 82? 82. Okay, let's see. 82 v 82 v3. Right, and there's no number. 0. All right, we're getting closer. So, man, This needs to be simplified a little bit, so we're going to shrink this just a little bit. So our system became looking like this. So we're going to simplify a couple of these things. So the first one cannot be simplified. So we're going to keep it as is. Like that. The second equation, we can divide each term by 5. Yeah, we can divide each term by 5. So it becomes negative 3v1 plus 5v2 minus 2v3 equals 60. We divide by 5, right? Unless we did something wrong. Unless we did something wrong. Okay, we're gonna revisit that equation. Dividing the third equation, we can divide by 2. That's gonna be negative 6v1 minus 5v2, and then plus 41 equals 0. So let's check the second equation. Something's so for v2, we get 25. So let's see, 0.30, 45. Yeah, how do you get it? Should be 50. All right, so let's do a little bit of a logical corrections here. So this should be 55. This is wrong. Let's fix this. If you divide 55 by 5, you should get 11. 11. Okay, and that's our matrix, basically. We can draw the matrix and solve it. Now, if you don't know how to solve matrix, how do you solve it? You have to eliminate the unknowns. And to eliminate unknowns, we can try to eliminate, say, V3 from these two. We can eliminate the V2 from these two. And hopefully this will help us. All right, let's try to rewrite this. 47V1 minus 15V2 minus 12V3. What was it? Near 3V1 plus 11V2 minus 3. This was equal to 200, equal to 60, right? 60. And the last one is near 6v1 plus minus 5v2 plus 41v3 equals 0. So what we're going to do, we're going to multiply the second equation by 2. And then subtract that from the top. So the top one, we're going to just copy as is. V equals 100. The second multiplied by 2 becomes that. Why did I say multiply by 2? That is so silly. Multiply this by 6, not by 2. The other one we can multiply by 2. Man, okay, so we're gonna multiply, not by 2, man, by 6. By 6. by 6. Okay, so that's going to end up being what is it, 18 V1 plus 66 V2 minus 12 V3 equals to 360. We are going to subtract now. So 47 minus negative 48 will give us 65 V1. Negative 15 minus 66 will give us negative 81 V2, and this will become 0, and this will become negative 60. So that's our equation. So we're going to keep it there. Now we're going to take the second equation. No, the second. We're going to take the third equation and multiply it by 3. Right down here. So the top equation is going to be the same as before. Like this. And the bottom equation is multiplied by 3, so negative 18 V1 minus 15 V2 and plus 123 V3 equals 0. We're going to subtract. We subtract, we're going to end up with the following. 47 minus 18, we already had something like this. It's going to be 65 V1. 15 disappears. I'm going to put 0 here. Negative 12 minus 123 will be negative 135 V equals 300. So now we have two equations, and we can actually eliminate one of the V's, which is quite convenient. So that's going to be 2. So we can simply subtract. That gives us a relation between V2 and V3. Negative, negative 135 V3. So these two disappear. So like we don't really need 65 V1, 65 V1 is gone. Negative 135 V3 minus will become plus 82 V2 equals to 360. Okay, and we can solve this for one of them. Let's solve it for V3, for example. V3 must be equal to 360 minus 82 V2, whole thing divided by negative 135. Right? Or we can rewrite it so it doesn't look so weird. 82 V2 minus 360 over 135. So we know V2, V3 in terms of V2, which we can then plug in into one of the two equations where we have V2, which is right here. So let's do that. We plug this in here, we're going to end up with 65 V1 plus minus oh no, we can't use it here. Sorry. Can't use it. We can use it here. This one. So this will then become 65V1 minus why is it 82? It's 81. Why is it 81? Yeah, it is 81. Oh, yeah, yeah. 81, 81, 81, 81, 81. And we're not gonna do this because it's useless. 81, 81. Okay, so now we have to look, where could we plug in V3? So if you plug into this one, we're gonna get this equation. So which is not what we want. We want to get a new equation. So if you plug in V3, so right now we know V3 and V2. We know V2 and V1. So we can use the third equation over here. Plug this in. So we're gonna bring this one on here. So negative 6V1 minus 5V2 plus 41 V3. We know V3 is equal to 81 V2 minus 360 over 135. The whole thing is equal to 0. We multiply everything by 135 to make it easier, and we're going to see what happens. So negative 6 times 135 is going to be 600, 780, and 30. So it's going to be negative 600. For this, we're going to use a calculator because you can't waste any time with this. So I need a calculator. Calculator. Let's see. 6 times 135. 6 times 135, please, is 810. Okay, so this will be 810 minus 5 times 135, 670V1, 75V2 plus 41 distributing over that. So 41 times 81, this will be 3,200, 3,300. 1 V2, 41 times 360 will be minus 14,760. 0. Copy this down. So we're gonna probably like round up here because it will take a long time to do it. So how many V2 we have? We have 3,321 V2 minus 810, which gives me 2,511 V2. Oh, that's wrong. It's wrong. We're getting computer glitches. 3,321 minus 675. So that'll be, let's copy this first so we don't get confused. Plus 2646 V2 equals 1400, 760. Let's solve this for V2. So V2 in terms of V1 will be equal to 14,760 minus 26, no, solve for V2 plus 810 V1 over 2646. So we expressed V2 in terms of V1. And all we need to do is express V1 in terms of V3, substitute here, and then we're gonna be able to find the values. We're gonna actually stop here because there's like too much for science, Olympia, or anything. Unless you know how to do matrices, it will take you forever. I'm gonna stop recording.